here is the last little bit of self-discipline on some of our examples that we can do to hold ourselves accountable. Remember that the self-love, self-discovery, and self-discipline are just our foundations that are going to help us on our personal growth, right? They're going to help us set our healthy boundaries and keep us going towards our long-term goals and really prioritizing us, right? That's so important to do that. It means that you're going to treat yourself with kindness, but you're also going to give yourself that push you need to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And so what are our last 4 examples in this category here? Well, they're going to be track your progress. So use habit trackers or journals or accountability partners. I really love data. I think data is beautiful. It can tell us so many things. And you can turn, like you would your financial budget into a data, what you're going to budget and what you actually do per money-wise. You can do this when it comes to your daily habits because you can use a tracker if you want. You can create an Excel doc if you want. And then you can turn that into data with hours, or you can even put numbers to your goals, and you can track, like, let's say you spent an hour on one goal this week or 4 hours on your second goal this week. It's really a great way to understand, to visualize, am I spending time on this? And of course you can number things that maybe you want to spend less time on, but really show that the time that you're spending on it, and then understand, like, after you do this for a week or two, okay, now it's time to fine tune and make some changes. So if one of those is like number 5, spending a lot of time on social media, and you notice that every day you spend at least 3 hours on there, well, after your 2 weeks of the beginning tracking your progress, you can always go and be like, okay, I'm gonna decrease my time. And then with your tracking, notice, do you really decrease your time in the end, or are you struggling and you may need some extra help, like accountability partners, which are really great to help as well. So what's another thing that we can do? Well, you can develop a growth mindset. So you can view failures as learning opportunities rather than reasons to quit, which, if anybody has understood meeting long-term goals, or really if you're an athlete or if you're a business owner, even if you have like a work project at work or something like that, or school projects, right? You understand that we are going to fail. That is just a part of life. But it's not the failures that define us, right? It's the ability for us to keep going even after we fail. And I think that is the growth mindset, where sure, we're going to fail, but are we going to let those failures hold us back? Or are we going to keep growing and going and understanding that things take time? Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint in life. So let's see what's another way that we can hold ourselves accountable, and that's we can just limit distractions altogether, or as many as we can, right? We can remove temptations that derail progress. Again, it's like limiting social media time if it wastes time. If you're trying to quit something like drinking a lot, the way to limit that distraction is not to go out to the bars with your friends all the time. That's a great way to do that. Maybe only have that be once a week instead of a few times a week. If you're like too much into watching shows instead of, scrolling the internet on your social media apps, then you just limit those times and you say, okay, I'm going to get everything done, and then 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I'm going to watch my show now, but I'm only going to watch it till 10 p.m. And again, that takes a lot of, I think, hard work to start limiting our distractions in life, but is so doable and will definitely help you in the future. And what is the last thing you can do for self-discipline? Well, you can prioritize rest and recovery. And discipline doesn't mean burnout, and the balance is the key. And I think that's really important. I know a lot of people say you should balance life, personal life and work, and sometimes that doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes we have to do a little bit more work and our personal life suffers a little bit, or vice versa. But at the same time, we need those days where we can just prioritize our rest and our recovery. If you work out a lot, sometimes you've noticed that, okay, I can work out 5 or 6 days out of the week, 2 times a day, But then maybe you're going to find that you're going to have to take a weekend off because your body's so tired and it needs to recover. Sleep is one of the most important things for recovery when we are exerting ourselves physically. And so if you like to hang out with people all the time, maybe that really does give you energy, but sometimes maybe you just need a day or two. You're going to have to prioritize that as well. And it's great to work on our goals every day, but sometimes you might be tired, and it's okay to take that rest day, because if we burn ourselves out too much, if we take on too much, then you might find that you procrastinate a lot, and then it's going to be a lot harder to get back on track. So what are we up to? We're up to the comment section. Do you do any of these things already? Are you self-disciplined in these 4 ways? Or do you struggle a lot in these and need some help? Again, I think we learn the best from each other. And so drop a comment below and let's get the conversation started.